Superior Defender Gundam Force, Superior Defender Gundam Force, or SD Gundam Force Japanese, SD Gandamu Fōsu Hepburn, Esudī Gandamu Fōsu, is a 2003 Japanese-American anime television series produced by Sunrise. The series was released to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Gundam media franchise, and was the first Gundam series to be entirely animated in cel-shaded 3D computer graphics 3D CG, and the first full-minus 3D CG series to be broadcast on Japanese television. The show was directed by Yūichi Abe. Overview. A Japan/America co-production. 26 episodes of Superior Defender Gundam Force initially aired on the Cartoon Network in the US, and later 52 episodes were broadcast on TV Tokyo in Japan, making it the longest Gundam series ever broadcast. The TV show was the first Japanese anime not to be released on VHS. Its home video releases are only available on DVD, with each containing 3 episodes. Though the final 26 episodes were not aired on television in America, fans petitioned for the second half of the series to be released, and the last 26 episodes were released in an English-dubbed DVD set in 2008. The title of the show is a reference to the SD Gundam, or Super Deformed Gundam sub-franchise, though for this show, SD stands for Superior Defender. It is a crossover series based on the 3 SD Gundam settings that were used in earlier SD Gundam anime and manga: SD Command Chronicles, a science fiction-styled militaristic setting, Musha Gundam, a setting with samurai-themed robots, and Night Gundam, a medieval European fantasy-themed setting. It also contains many references and homages to the standard Gundam shows, especially those of the Universal Century, Future Century, and After Colony timelines. In a sharp contrast to the dark nature of most of the other Gundam series, SD Gundam Force is relatively light-hearted, though it does at times get more serious. As the series goes on, it is never as dark as the more traditional Gundam series. Synopsis. The story is set in the futuristic city of Neotopia, a happy, peaceful place where humans and robots coexist, until the Dark Axis, an evil force from another dimension, arrives. Aware of the Dark Axis in advance, Neotopia established the secret super-dimensional guard to combat the invaders while keeping the conflict a secret from the public. A young boy named Shoot becomes involved accidentally in the first battle between the Dark Axis and the SD Gundam Force robot hero, Captain Gundam. Shoot's friendship with the captain is critical to activating Captain's soul drive, the mysterious power source that is the key to victory. As the fighting continues, Gundams from other dimensions such as Zero and Bakenetsumaru arrive to join the battle as allies. As the Gundam Force beats back the mono-eyed invaders, the battle spreads beyond Neotopia into the dimensions of Lacroix and Arc, leading into a final confrontation with the supreme leader of the Dark Axis, General Xiang. Characters. The characters of SD Gundam Force are split into 2 major factions: Super-Dimensional Guard and Dark Axis. Amongst these are various sub-factions/alliances, usually designated by their members' land of origin. Cast and crew. Japanese cast: Hibeyamaru Masayuki Tanaka, Patrol Ball Kiyotaka Furujima, Gundamusai Reimi Soto Yuko, Malkinmaru Tetsuo Kamura, Jinkaku Masanobu Koriya, Kinkaku Makoto Yasumura, Britanmaru Eiji Maruyama, Kijumaru Hirofumi Najima. English cast: Alan Peters, David Lalivold, Taylor Henry, Aleki Theophilopoulos Graft, Dave Mallow, John Smallberries. Episode list. His name is Captain Sonomin Hakiaputin. Soul Drive Activate. Hiwiki Sarudorebu. Zero, the Flying Night Tian, Kuru Kaishi Zero. Attack the Enemy Musai. Dainamusai Jian Woku Ki. Gundam Force, Team Up, Team Up. Jai Cheng, Gandamu Fōsu. The blazing samurai comes to Neotopia Yan no Wuji, Neotopia Ojeng Cool. Go, Gunbike, Jai Zhu, Ganbaka, a princess, a cake, and the winged knight Jai Tokito, Yi no Kai Shishisho. Bakanetsu Maru's struggle Bao Riwan Fen Du Jai, Jai, Du Jai, Du Jai, Jai, Du Jai, Du Jai, Du Jai. Gundam Force Triple Attack by Sha Torapuro Atatsuku. The Mystery of Lacroa Part 1. Arrival Maigon Norakuro Akayan Bayan. The Mystery of Lacroa Part 2. Trapped Maigon Norakuro Ajong Bayan. The Mystery of Lacroa Part 3. Return Maigon Norakuro Hubayan. Undercover Mission. Learn the Gundam Force's secrets. Gandamu Huasuno My Nice Mare. Match Wings Gun Eagle. Insu no Yi Ganaguru. Masters of the Deep Sea. Gun Divers. Shenhai no Baji Gandaba. Ashura Maru. The old rival returns as in Tanasai Ki. Sono Mingha as Yulua Wan. Fly Captain. The SDG base hangs by a thread. SDG Jai Daiwei Jai Yi Fa. Showdown. Vakanetsu Maru vs. Ashura Maru Judu. Bao Riwan Dui Azulua Wang. Fen's Disaster Huino Zainan. Awakening. Feather Dragon Juzing. Huzadoragon. Attack of the Big Zambigu Zomu Kiangzai. Fire Up. Captain System Fa Dong. Kiatutinshisutemu. Trouble. Stolen Soul Drive Pinchai. Sarudo Rebu King Duo. Neotopia's Moment of Truth. Neotopia Zuida no Wei Jai. The Final Battle. Commander vs. Captain Zhu Zhan. Commander Duikia Putin. Into the Dark Axis. Turu Dakuakishizu. Ways of the Warrior Sansu no Dao. No More Ultimate Techniques. Terror of the Minav Boundary Sea by Sha Jai Fengyin. Mino Husu Jinghai no Zai Wei. Fig Comeback. We're the Heroes. Fu Huo and Takaga Zhu Da. Evil Sword Epion Mo Giant Epion. Epion's Assault. Assault. Epion Kingzai. Rescue Operation. The Cursed Princess Lacroa Duo Huan Juwer Shirakuro Ajai. Princess in a Black Dress Heikai Yi Norakuro Ajai. Genkamaru Samurai No. 1. Tanzai Deng. Yuan Kai Wen Tilda Tsu no Huan. Rice Bowls and the Garden of Wisdom Onajirito Yingjai no Yuan. Fierce Fight. Deathside the Night of Darkness Jai 2. And Notsu Seizu. Princess Relay. Revived. Riri Jai Fu Huo. Gerber's Invitation Gabarono Hu by Shang. Hu by Shang. 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 Kibayamaru's Attack. Ru's Attack. Ru's Attack. His Attack. His Attack. His Attack. Phil's Attack. Kaima Wang Wan. Sai Lai. Sai Lai. Sai Lai. Sai Lai. A Sai Lai. Shoot. And the princess captured. Huirtutoriary. War torn Arkshen Luin no Tan Gong. The Ultimate Challenge. Kibayamaru vs. Shoot Ju Jai no Yishu. Kaima Wang Wen Dui Shudo. Vakishin Maru. Flare Up. Flare Up. Flare Up. Flare Up. Flare Up. Bao Xinwan. Yan Shang. Gundam Force. Assembled. Fembled. Gandamu Huasu Jai He. The Tears of Kabermaru Zuwuluo Wen no Lei. Mashadation Shu Unleashed. Kaidong. Wujida Shenjang. Tenchaijo on Fire. Genkamaru's Roar. There's Roar. There's Roar. There's Roar. There's Roar. There's Roar. There's Roar. Roar. Ruse Roar. Ruse Roar. Ruse roar, it's roar, it's roar, it's roar, it's roar, it's roar, or Ruse roar, Yan no Tan Dai Cheng, Yuan Kai Wen no Jiao Bai, Prelude to Destruction, Gerber's True Identity Po Mai Hino Zook, Total Annihilation, 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 Shin, Annihilation, Shin, Annihilation, Shin, Annihilation. The threat of the general Shijai Zio Shi, Xenarano Zaiwei, A Zaiwei, A Zaiwei, A Zaiwei, A Zaiwei, A Zaiwei, Wei, Zaiwei, no Zaiwei, A Zaiwei, 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 Zaiwei. The final battle. The general vs everyone. Da Jujan, Scenarar of Sminin. The Voyage Home Gui Rai Dao. Title cards. Each episode's title is presented over a card whose art changed as the series progressed to reflect the evolution of the main cast. A simple shining Gundam Force badge. The three main Gundams assemble and the captain fires his rifle directly at the screen. After the glow subsides, the Gundams are seen together, and Shoot leaps into frame and joins them. The three Gundams stand in the background as Shoot leaps up in the foreground, standing in a triumphant pose. The Gundams appear in their regular forms before the card spins around to reveal them in their most powerful forms. Differences between English and Japanese versions. Although SD Gundam Force was designed with US standards in mind, subtle differences exist between the English and Japanese language versions of the show. These include, in the intro for the English version of Episode 8, A Princess, a Cake, and a Winged Knight, Shoot begins his usual description for Neotopia, but instead calls it Ypsilanti. Michigan then laughs, says he's just kidding, and continues on with his usual intro. Various eye catches are used in the Japanese version, while the English release uses only one. Examples of the differences in the Japanese version include one featuring Mayor Margaret with the various Neotopian ball mecha, and subtle changes to the standard animations such as Bakunetsumaru tripping over, causing his helmet to fall off. The Japanese version has a set of specific OP and ED, while the US version uses scenes/screenshots from the show. While the Japanese version uses similar for its OP, the ED are mostly new animation. OP1 Sunrise by Puffy Ami Yumi Epps. 1:13. OP2 Love and Peace by Little Epps. 14:26. OP3 Teiyu Naikagarit by Hairbear Epps. 27:52. ED1 Shinjuru Chikara by Whiteberry Epps. 1:13. Azako Soldier steals Sayla's umbrella, prompting Shoot to give chase. Initially unsuccessful, Captain convinces him not to give up, and Shoot finally manages to retrieve it. ED2 Kokoro Odoru by Nobita Nose plus Epps. 14:26. Various members of the cast dancing. ED3 Kimi to Baku by IYSH Epps. 27:38. The Gundam Yusai flying through the Minov Sea. ED4 Koishikute by Les. RX 39:52. Scenes of Princess Relay. In the episode Kaburamaru's Tears, Kaburamaru attempts ritual suicide to repent for failing his master Kibayamaru. As the issue of attempted suicide in a children's show would be controversial in most English-speaking countries, the dialogue in the English language version was changed to imply that Kibayamaru is ordering Kaburamaru to kill himself and slash or go into exile. In the Japanese version, certain characters are voiced by the voice actors of the past Gundam characters they are referencing. As the Gundam dubs have used various voice acting casts, this homage. Adaptations and spin-offs. Manga. SD Gundam Force has 2 manga adaptations. These include a serialized retelling of the show, SD Gundam Force, and a side story manga, Superior Defender Gundam Force Gaiden. Similar to most TV to manga adaptations, the 3-volume adaptation makes various subtle but notable changes for pacing reasons. Examples include the complete absence of Gunbike/Gunpanzer, and Madnut managing to override his brainwashing, only to be killed by Xiang for his betrayal. The side story manga presents stories of Captain Gundam, Bakunet Sumaru, Zero Zapper Zaku, Grappler Goof, and Destroyer Dom that cover untold additions to the show as well as character backstories. Video games. 2 games have been released based on the show: a side-scrolling platform game for the Game Boy Advance GBA, a 3D action-adventure game for the PlayStation 2. The GBA game retells the story of the first 26 episodes of the show and allows players to play as either Captain Gundam, Bakunet Sumaru, or Zero the Winged Knight. Characters can be switched at any time for the cost of 1 bar from the special attack meter, and players need to use each character's strengths to successfully complete the game. The PS2 title was a much grander affair, presenting a brand new story. The mysterious dimensional halo appears in Neotopia and creates mirror versions of Neotopia, Lacroa, and Arc. The Gundam Force are forced to battle their way through these copy dimensions and even face their own evil doppelgangers to reach Scar Road and defeat the dimensional halo. Each Gundam Force member has a variety of new forms they can achieve, including 1 super-secret form for each, which can only be unlocked by a code. The code was presented on a Japanese trading card and eventually filtered to the Western fandom. The game eventually allows the player to play as a Zako soldier. The dimensional halo and its minions were based on the weapons of the Zanskar Empire in Victory Gundam. The game also features further references to the earlier UC, FC, and AC timeline in the form of new villains. The second track used in the series' closing credits, Kokoro Odoru by Nobutanos Plus, featured in the 2005 Nintendo DS rhythm action game Asu. Tataki Ounden. The ride. During the show's run in Japan, a limited-time attraction was opened. Titled SD Gundam Force, Destructive Daishigun appears. This Daishigun appears. Appears, 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 and appears. Because appears, appears, gun appears, appears, Zako. The 20-minute show used a special theater to present a whole new SD Gundam Force adventure with which the audience could interact. Seemingly set in between episodes 26 and 27, although overall it is best treated as being non-canon, the stars of the show are the Zakos who have been forced to become the SDG cleaning crew, the Lacrone villain Dajarl Knight of the Hammer, and the arc-destructive Daishigun Hakemaru seek to unify the world with the mysterious Zakarlo Mobile. Dajarl is able to change the appearance of others, and Hakemaru has a bath fetish that leads him to create a super bathhouse command station. The audience and the Zakos join the Gundam Force as they attempt to stop this new alliance. Original characters were created for the show by Masato Ikishiki, author of the SD Gundam Mushamaruden / SD Gundam Force Imaki Musharetsuden / SD Gundam Mushabancho Funraku manga. Motion capture data was taken from Japanese pro wrestler Shinya Hashimoto for Hakemaru's movements. While Hakemaru appears to be a generic Musha Gundam, Dajarl resembles an Ozymandias 12 SMS Taurus. The video portion of this attraction is included as an extra on the complete Japanese SD Gundam Force DVD box set. Reception. Season 1 of the series aired in the US 4 months ahead of the Japanese release, and was the first Gundam series to do so. However, despite its success in the US, Season 2 was not broadcast in North American markets due to the first season's disappointing ratings in Japan when it premiered later. Also, at the time it was aired, SD Gundam Force was the least watched Gundam title in Japan, having averaged a 2.1% TV rating in the Kanto region during its broadcast.